Too drunk by the boy's wedding, it runs the risk of being shot. I don't think any of us can keep up with these. I think you're not much a drinker. No, I am not. Where's I answer
Hello, welcome to this video. I really wanted to just show a week of my life getting ready for a craft fair. So today's Wednesday. I've already filmed like a little bit earlier this week. I just didn't feel like filming the intro, but I have the Fremont Fair Saturday and Sunday. And leading up to a craft fair, usually the week before, there's a lot of prep work that happens, updating Square, counting inventory, figuring out my display. And because this is a brand new event for me, I really have to consider how I'm going to do things. When I've been to events before, I know what to expect and I know what's going to happen and I know kind of how I want to set up, but this time I really want to revamp my setup because I want to add more color and just make it a little bit more eye-catching. So that's what I'm focusing on today. My camera battery died, so you get my phone now. What I was saying is I have today off. It is Wednesday, so it kind of feels like a weird day to have off after having worked Monday, Tuesday, and then I have to go back Thursday, Friday. But I'm using today as a art working day, so it's kind of just like me pretending as if art were my full-time job. This is maybe how my day would go. I did let myself sleep in though, because to be honest, I've kind of felt like I'm coming down with something the last few days. So I just wanted to let my body rest, and I do feel a lot better this morning. I've had a little bit of like a sore throat and whatnot. Nothing too bad, but I wanted to make sure I got enough sleep so that I could be productive, and I really, really don't want to be sick during a craft fair because that just sounds miserable. So like I said, today I'm mostly working on a display, but leading up to a craft fair, there's also things like updating inventory on Square, and one of the like really important things to do is update tax, and that changes sometimes every few months. So it's always good to just double check the zip code of the area that you're in to make sure that you're taxing people correctly. Another thing that I like to do is go through and count all my inventory. If I've gotten new products since the last time, then I need to add those to Square, which means taking a picture and putting it in the correct category and pricing it the way that I want it priced. But today the main focus is the display. And I think what I'm going to do is bring the tables up that I usually use for craft fairs and put them in my living room. I think I have enough space to set everything up. It'll be a little cramped, but my goal is to finish it before Thomas comes home from work because we eat in here and this is where we hang out sometimes. So I don't want it to be crowding everything. So I do have a little bit of a time limit to try to finish it today. So we'll see how that goes. I will probably be watching TV or listening to an audiobook while I do this, just to kind of like have something going on in the background. I don't frequently work in silence. I like to be listening to something, even if it's just music. So yeah, let's go grab those tables. Unfortunately, they live in the garage, so I need to go grab them from the garage and bring them upstairs, which is a little bit of a workout. So let's get started.
She's a dream, no one. But it's all right. That's what we'll do. Yeah? I object. You see, even Several will be shitting his back when he's old, thinking about those things. Still no sign of any? I ask. No. Probably all packing their wagons full of garter beans, taking their eagerly groomed children back home. Souvenir from the gas giants. That's just it. It makes you wonder what type of nightmares do Askamani children have. Probably dig in, try to stay.
Okay, so at the last event, I had the issue of these little prints I had in one of these, but if you look, they're, well, that just proved my point right there. They, there's not a lot of space for it to sit on these because of the narrowness. And so during the event, they just kept falling in like that and getting all disheveled and not great. So what I did was I took these beams out in this one and cut it maybe like half an inch or so shorter. So now it sits a lot nicer. And hopefully that'll keep it from just falling in. I mean, obviously it can still happen, but I think it'll be easier for it to stay on there. Definitely don't do it the way I did it. I don't have the proper tools to do it. It was probably not safe what I was doing, but it worked. Alrighty, I've been working on this for I think like 2-ish hours now, and this is what I've gotten so far. The only thing I'm worried about at this point is that I only have 2 hours to set up Saturday morning, and this is kind of a lot to put together. So I'll definitely be taking some detailed photos so that I know what I'm doing the morning of. But it's similar to my previous setups. I'll flash some pictures of those up above. But I have the stickers always in a corner because people will sit and stare at those for a long time. So I like them to be kind of separated from other things so that the flow of traffic kind of works a little bit better and they're not blocking people from looking at other stuff. Up here, at the very top, I'm thinking in that middle square, I'm going to put my logo. And then I kind of want to use some colored blocks for the ones on the side. I think that'll look nice. And it'll be like that orange one, orangey yellow, I guess. Cricut called it yellow, but I feel like it's almost more orange. I actually just did with Cricut vinyl. So I have some more vinyl. This one, unfortunately, so this is the stencil and it's clear, which I didn't realize, but I like this color blue much more than I like this color blue, which is the color blue I got when I bought the actual like cube thingies. And it's not that I dislike this color, I just feel like it's not as close to the color blue that I use in most of my art versus this is a lot closer. But because I'm using so many cube squares, I think I'm still going to use some of these and just try to make sure they're spaced out and maybe put behind the art that's like really pink and that doesn't have the other blues in it. And then I have some like pink and orange to splash it up as well as more of that like yellowy orange color. So that's what I have. This is kind of like the front, I guess. I bought a corner booth, so we'll see which way I'm set up. I also have like a little square thing there and a little QR code so people can follow me on Instagram. And I did that because I feel like if I leave too many of the squares blank, it just looks really empty. I think by trading out some of these cubes with colored ones, that'll help with that though. And then I have new-ish business cards, but I didn't have a stand for them. And I found these little easels that I had and it works perfectly. And I think it just looks so cute. So that's how I'm going to do my business cards this time around. For these signs, I actually just taped them here. And I think that works really well. Before I was using clothespins, but I think honestly this looks a little bit cleaner. And then on this side, let's see if, well, oh, there we go. Okay. So this is how I have it on this side, and I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. I think the area with the totes and the lanyards and ornaments looks really nice. So obviously I will not have just that like one random blue square. But the area with the prints, I'm not really sure what I want to do with this. When I don't have any cubes behind it, it almost feels like it's not really a part of the display, but then with the cubes behind it, it feels a little awkward. So I'm not really sure. There is a part of me, now that I'm looking at it, I have an idea, but it's going to be an absolute pain in the butt now that I have all this set up. I'm wondering if I swap these two sections. I kind of want to do that, and also that feels like a nightmare. I think what I might do is take a picture of it and then like Photoshop it and see how it would look. Regardless, I'm going to take photos of everything because I want to figure out what color I want to be each cube, how it'll look with the product against it. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to take pictures of all the Cricut colors that I have and try to just like Photoshop it and see what I prefer. But I'm generally happy with how it's set up. It's just the prints and the original art. I'm not sure how I feel about that. So anyway, I think it's only like 10:30, but I haven't eaten anything, so I think I might make something to eat, watch an episode of something on TV, and then get back to this after I've had something in my belly. This is my funny little lunch setup. I'm just using the corner of this table to eat, and then sitting in the corner where I am, I can just see the TV. So this is how we're gonna do lunch. It was either this or watch YouTube and eat in the office, but it's so sunny out, and it's, I don't know, I just feel like I should be in a bright room instead of in the office, which is always just so dark. I don't want to say dreary because it's really fun when you're like playing video games in there because you have all the RGB lights and everything, but sometimes I feel like it's better for my mental health to be out, be able to see the beautiful outdoors, even if I'm not outside. I think it's just mentally a good thing to be out here, and maybe while I'm sitting here I'll come up with some ideas for the display as well. Alrighty, I have rearranged some things. So I added the vinyl up here. Some of them aren't perfect if you look too up close, but I don't think people will be paying that much attention to it. And then I'm gonna put this one up in that empty spot, but I wanna print out my logo pretty big on some sticker paper and stick it on there. I think that'll look nice. And then I did end up rearranging the prints and everything, and I do feel like the prints now actually feel like they're a part of the booth. And then I put the blue tiles here, partially because I'm going to run out of the white if I don't use blue, and also I feel like it kind of draws your attention to it, and because it's at the corner, my hope is that people walking by will see big blue, just generally cute things and want to stop. I think it's just more eye-catching with the color like that. And then I'm going to keep this part over here just the normal white. I think the products have enough color in them to be okay. I did consider putting it up behind the toads, but I think it's just too much. I think I like having just the one cube of color right there. And then I will have my desk mat sitting here, and then I'll just be sitting and hanging out here. And I put the bookmarks over on this little part because I wanted to take the keychains, which were up there. I wanted to move them to the other side so I can fill in that one empty space, and then I could make this part symmetrical, because I kind of felt also with this up another one, it just felt too tall. Oh, running into tables. It just felt like too much. I didn't love it. And so I moved the keychains over there so that I didn't just have an awkward blank space. I feel like it fills it in a bit. The only issue I'm having right now is that this part does feel a little bit empty. But I like having this third stack up there, because when you only have the second, you can still see into the booth, which isn't the end of the world, but you can also see the backs of all the ones that are stacked this way. And I feel like it looks a little weird. I don't know. I think I like it. My concern at this point is at previous events, I've had not this much stuff up, so I was able to take payments from both tables instead of only one area, so that might cause a little bit of backup. But I do feel like because I really only have the stickers over here and the buttons over here for people to look at, I guess the bookmarks and magnets, but there's not too much for people to look at, that this area should stay clear enough that people can make purchases. So hopefully that works out. We will see. Okay, I really like the way that this looks, but now I'm tempted to take some of this yellowy color and make stars to put on the orange ones, but I feel like that might be a little bit too much. But maybe not. It's about 2 now, so I need to be done soon because I'll probably start cooking dinner at like 5, so about 3 hours. And this is gonna take a while to pack down. So I don't know. Maybe I'll leave it like this for now, and then the next event I'll add extra stars. Because I do kind of want to like restock some buttons as well, because these are all the buttons that I've ever made, and I'm out of stock of most of them. So I kind of want to do some restocking, and if I work more on the display today, I don't know that I'll have time for that. Now that everything's the way that I like it, I took a little break, and unfortunately it is time to break everything down. And I am absolutely dreading that. It's not a fun time. Putting it up is fun because you get to be creative and figure out how you want it. Putting it away, not so much. Honey, I need my chair. I need my chair. All right, it's been a couple weeks since the Fremont Fair, and I decided I should probably film an outro. I just finished editing most of the video, and now I just kind of want to do a summary and explain how the event went for me. Obviously, doing events like this, you're always taking a bit of a risk that you're not going to make your money back or make any profit. And this event, I will say, wasn't the best event that I've ever done, for sure, but I think it was a good experience regardless. And I am fortunate that this is more of like a side hustle sort of situation, and I do have a full-time job on top of doing this stuff. So when I don't make money, or if I lose money at events like this, it doesn't really harm my livelihood. It doesn't impact my ability to pay bills or anything like that. So I'm really fortunate in that way. I don't know, to be honest, if I'll ever make the leap into this becoming a full-time job. I think there's a lot of things that would have to happen for me to do that. Yeah, that's just not in the cards for me at the moment. But I did enjoy the event. It was fun, like all events like this are. You have food trucks and art booths and stuff like that. I did get to see a couple familiar faces that I've seen at previous events, so it was nice to see them and chat with them and get to know them a little bit better. I, of course, love eating all the food. My husband, his job is normally just to like run around and find good food and bring it back for me, so that's always fun. This event was interesting in that the flow of traffic, for me anyway, at my booth, was like very on and off. So Saturday morning, super slow, very slow. But they had a parade, I want to say it was at like 1 p.m. And after that parade was over, it got super busy. And that's where I made pretty much all of my money, was after the parade, people started flooding in. And even before the parade started, I saw that people were putting out chairs, and there were even couches on the side of the road so people could see the parade. And this parade wasn't going along the booths, it was on a separate street, because I think they had floats and stuff, And I know there was a bike riding aspect of the parade, so it would have been difficult for them to come down through the streets with the booths on them. I don't think that would have worked, and people wouldn't have been able to watch. So it made sense, but I think the parade, while it was ongoing and before it started, detracted from sales and from people coming and visiting our booths. Now, the other interesting thing about that parade is that part of the parade is a naked bike parade. So there are people that are naked, and I think they had like body paint and stuff on, and then they were walking around after the fact. And one of the things that I noticed is that all the women, or at least this is what I saw coming across my booth, the women who had the same paint as the men all were clothed afterwards as they were walking around, but a lot of the men were not. So I would say if you're uncomfortable with that, if you ever want to visit this event, go on Sunday because the parade is only on Saturday. I will say it did make me a little bit uncomfortable, but fortunately behind my booth, at least, I wasn't just walking out there around them. I don't know. To me, it's a little bit odd, but to each their own, right? If it's legal, I guess, go for it if that tickles your fancy. I don't know. So that was kind of a strange thing that I've not seen at any events that I've done before. And then Sunday was so slow. I hardly made any money on Sunday. And I don't want to say it was boring, but it was a little bit boring. I was mostly sketching in my sketchbook because there was so little traffic. So I will be honest, it was a little bit of a disappointment. Might give this event another shot, but we'll see. It just kind of depends where I'm at by like next December, I think, when applications typically open. So I figured I would be transparent in the financial aspect of this event because I feel like as an artist, I find it helpful to see how other people do at events. One, to gauge if it's an event that maybe I should look at doing. If someone has a similar art style to me, they can maybe expect to see a similar amount of profit. And also just to kind of see how other people are doing because you have people at all different levels. Some people like me don't make a ton of money, and then you have other people that maybe made a ton of money. And so it's just, I don't know, it's just interesting for me. I like hearing other artists talk about it, so I figured I would do the same. So for this event, for the booth cost, the licenses, and I also paid for a parking spot because I didn't know what the parking situation would be like down there. I paid $645.50 to get in. And I made $724. So I really didn't make that much more than I paid to get in. When you take into account the amount of money that I had to spend to manufacture certain items, like stickers, keychains, lanyards, things like that, I had to spend money to have them made. So when I subtracted that money, the amount of money that I made after that was $579.11. And so the final total, if you consider the cost of the street fair and the cost of making things with the amount of money that I made, I actually came out at a negative. I lost $66.39. So I was kind of like right on the cusp. And if you're not looking at the manufacturing cost of items, you would say that I technically did make money, but technically I still lost a little bit of money. So it's not the best event that I've ever done. I don't think this is the first event that I've lost money. I think I've done a convention where I lost money. But again, it was a similar thing where if you didn't look at manufacturing costs, you could say that I had made money. But in the long run, I had not. And so, again, this is something that happens. You take risks when you decide to do events like this. And you move on, you live, you learn. You kind of learn where your target audience is. I think near colleges, like the U District Street Fair, that is probably my all-time favorite event. I will probably do that year after year. And I think also what's really fun, I have like this whole spreadsheet, but just to see what items sold so that if I do decide to go back to this event next year, I maybe will know, hey, at this event, this was like a really hot item and I know to bring more of those. I think the thing that sells the most at most events is stickers, for me anyway. I sold 88 stickers. I sold 4 tote bags. I sold 6 desk mats. I sold out of mouse pads. I only sold 1 pin, 1 lanyard, 67 buttons, but the buttons are very cheap. And so the nice thing about those is like little kids that just want something, their parents usually won't say no to it because it's 50 cents. I sold 11 magnets, 1 Sailor Moon print, 3 keychains, 6 bookmarks, 1 ornament, 2 original paintings on canvases, and 1 washi tape. So ultimately, the thing for me that I feel like I need to focus on is creating more stickers and more diverse stickers. And also the thing that I really want to focus on as a bigger item are the mouse pads and the desk mats, because 1, you don't see those items at a lot of events, and so I feel like it makes my booth unique. And 2, they're just kind of fun to design. Like I said, they're unique. And I think that makes them a little bit more fun. And they're also a higher cost item. So I think I make a little bit more profit off of those. And obviously if I sell 1, I make quite a bit of profit versus selling 1 sticker. I just make a little bit of a profit, even if those are relatively cheap to manufacture. Anyway, I hope you enjoy seeing the behind the scenes of getting ready for an event and all of that. It's really fun doing these events. I really love them and I hope to do more in the future. But I'll see you in the next video. Bye!